Welcome to Skipping the Book Club, the only book club where the most strenuous activity is hitting the play button and maybe stifling a giggle. So ditch the dusty tomes, forget deciphering metaphors, and let us be your hilarious literary Sherpas. We've braved the pages so you don't have to. Get ready to sound smart without breaking a sweat. Or opening a book. Let the skipping commence.
Okay, so welcome to another deep dive. Today we are going super deep into Funny Story by Emily Henry.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so we've got a stack of listener reviews, and looks like everyone's really curious about this one. Everyone seems to be buzzing about this book.
But she's a popular author for sure. Always a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And the basic premise is Daphne's fiance Peter just kind of dumps her out of the blue for his childhood best friend Petra, and somehow Daphne ends up as roommates with Petra's ex Miles.
Oh, wow. Talk about awkward. What a recipe for disaster. Maybe a funny story.
Right. It's like the ultimate setup for a rom-com. So let's unpack this. What are the reviewers saying about Funny Story? What makes it tick?
Sure. So right off the bat, what's interesting is Daphne and Miles, they're thrown together by heartbreak.
But it's this weird indirect connection through the couple that kind of messed up both their lives.
Yeah.
So right away, there's this understanding between them, even if it's super awkward at first.
It's like they're in the same boat, but it's a boat nobody really wants to be in. Like it's a leaky boat or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. A boat with a big hole in it.
Yeah.
And, most of the reviews we got are super positive. One even gave it a 4 out of 5 stars.
Nice. So Emily Henry's definitely doing something, right? And the reviewers are pointing out that the emotions feel real. It's not all just sugary sweet romance. They actually dig into the messiness of it all.
Yeah, and I think that's why it resonates. Life isn't always pretty and perfect. And relationships, forget about it. They're messy. So to see that reflected in a romance novel, it's refreshing.
Totally. It's like finally someone's being honest about how complicated love and relationships can be.
Right. And it seems like Emily Henry is kind of known for this.
Huh.
I mean, if you think about her other books like Book Lovers or Happy Place.
Right. She's got that knack for mixing humor with real depth.
Yeah.
Like you can laugh and cry in the same book. That's a skill.
It's a delicate balance, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, but back to Funny Story. So Peter breaks up with Daphne for Petra.
Yeah.
And then leaves her high and dry in this house in Waning Bay, Michigan.
Yeah, and that's rough. I mean, she moved there for him, took a job as a children's librarian, which, let's face it, doesn't exactly pay a fortune. Yeah, those librarians need a raise.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the reviews mention that she's basically stranded. No real support system in Waning Bay. It's like starting over in a place that's now totally linked to her ex and his new love.
Ouch. That's gotta sting. And that's where Miles comes in, Petra's ex. He's described as, scruffy, a bit chaotic, the kind of guy who listens to sad love songs on repeat.
The complete opposite of Daphne, who's like super organized and put together.
One review even said that her coworkers had a bet going. They were trying to figure out if she was FBI or in witness protection.
Yeah.
Because she was so quiet and reserved.
That's hilarious. But yeah, it's that classic opposites attract setup. But it works because the reviewers say it feels nuanced. They start off awkward, which makes sense. But being dumped by the same couple, that creates this unexpected bond.
It's like misery loves company.
Right.
But in a funny way.
Exactly. And then it gets even better.
Yeah.
Peter and Petra send them a wedding invitation.
Oh no, that's just cruel.
It is.
Yeah.
But Daphne and Miles, they come up with this plan. They're going to stage these super fake summer adventure photos like they're living their best lives to make their exes jealous.
Classic fake dating scenario. I love it. So are they good at it? Do they convince everyone?
That's the fun part. The reviewers say that the fake dating thing, it actually works because of their connection. They're not just pretending for no reason. They're both dealing with this huge emotional upheaval. And the fake dating becomes this way for them to cope. And maybe even enjoy themselves along the way.
It's like they're faking it till they make it, but with feelings.
Right. And of course, the big question is, will they actually fall for each other? I mean, it's a rom-com.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
Will Daphne fall for her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex?
It's a mouthful, but it's a good one. And that's the hook that keeps you reading.
Okay, so let's talk characters. Daphne is a librarian, so we kind of get this image of someone who's maybe a little uptight, loves her routines.
Yeah. And one review called her a wee girl, someone who defines herself through her relationships.
Yeah.
Like first it was her mom, then her friend Sadie, then Peter. It's like she's always looking for someone to complete her.
It makes you wonder if she even knows who she is outside of those relationships.
Right. And the reviews mention that she craves love, but is also terrified of being abandoned.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, given her dad wasn't around.
Yeah, that's got to leave a mark. And then you add the whole Peter situation. It's a double whammy.
Exactly. And remember, she moved to Waning Bay for him. So when he leaves, it's not just a heartbreak. It's like her whole world is uprooted.
Because her entire life in Waning Bay revolved around him.
Yeah. And she's also a total people pleaser. Wants everyone to like her. And you see that in her job. She's trying so hard to build a life there with the library and this big readathon event she's organizing.
But it feels a little shaky. Like she's missing that solid foundation of knowing who she is and what she wants.
So is that what her journey is about? Finding herself? That's a big part of it. The review suggests that her romance with Miles isn't just about finding love. It's about Daphne finding herself, learning to be independent and happy on her own terms.
Which is such an important message, right? Like, you gotta love yourself first.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's talk about Miles. He's kind, generous, a total people person, and apparently gives off hot Abraham Lincoln vibes.
Hot Abraham Lincoln vibes. Okay, I need to hear more about this.
I know, right? It's the most random description, but it's hilarious, and it
Right.
makes him memorable. But yeah, he's a bartender. Everyone in Waning Bay seems to love him. He's like the opposite of Daphne in so many ways.
So how do they even function as roommates? It sounds like a recipe for chaos.
Well, that's what makes their dynamic so interesting. Where Daphne is reserved, Miles is open and laid back. And he becomes her guide to Waning Bay. But not in a touristy way. He helps her see the town through her own eyes, not just as Peter's ex-girlfriend.
Like he's helping her create her own story in Waning Bay.
Exactly. And it's interesting because even though he's labeled as a stoner in reviews, he's also portrayed as super supportive and down to earth. And he's got his own baggage. The reviews mention a tough childhood.
So maybe that's why he's so chill. He's learned to roll with the punches.
Yeah, maybe. And it shows that Daphne and Miles, they've both dealt with hard stuff, but they've coped in totally different ways.
One review mentioned that Miles makes the people he cares about feel like you want all of them, not just the good parts.
Which is huge for Daphne, because she spent so much of her life trying to be perfect, trying to be unleavable. But Miles is showing her that she's worthy of love exactly as she is.
That's so sweet. Okay, what about the other characters? I know there are a few more people in the mix.
Yeah, so there's Jules, Miles' sister, who's also had a rough time. Then there's Peter, the ex-fiancé, who seems perfect, who's actually struggling with his own identity. And Petra, who's kind of flaky.
And then there's Ashleigh, Daphne's coworker at the library.
Right, and she's divorced. So she becomes this kind of role model for Daphne, showing her that you can be happy and independent even without a romantic partner.
Like a guide to the single life.
Exactly. And the reviewers really highlight the importance of Daphne and Ashleigh's friendship. It's like a lifeline for Daphne.
Okay, so themes. What are some of the big ones that Funny Story explores?
Well, opposites attract is definitely a major one. You've got Daphne, who's all about order and control. And then Miles, who's more go with the flow.
They're like oil and water, but somehow they mix.
And that's the beauty of it, right? They balance each other out.
Oh.
And the reviews say their relationship feels genuine. It goes from awkward to friendship to something more.
So it hits that friends to lovers trope, which is always a good one.
Always. And the fake dating just accelerates everything, forces them to spend time together and really see each other.
And then there's the deeper stuff, like Daphne's fear of abandonment stemming from her childhood and her struggle to embrace change, especially in Waning Bay where everything is so new and different.
Yeah, those themes add a layer of complexity to the story. It's not just about the romance. It's about Daphne's journey of self-discovery, learning to let go of the past and embrace who she truly is.
So it's like a rom-com with a side of therapy.
Something like that. And the importance of friendship is huge too, not just with Miles, but with Ashleigh. It shows that romantic love isn't the only kind of love that matters.
You need your girls.
100%.
Okay.
Okay, so why is this book resonating with so many people? The reviewers keep mentioning how real and relatable the characters are. They feel like actual people with flaws and baggage.
Because nobody's perfect.
Right.
And it's refreshing to see that reflected in fiction. And then there's the humor, the chemistry between Daphne and Miles. One reviewer said Miles was like the human version of the sound.
That's amazing. He just sounds so adorable.
I know, right? And the slow burn romance. It's got to be satisfying to see it all unfold.
The reviewers seem to think so. They say the ending is well-earned and satisfying, which is what you want in a romance. You want those characters to get there happily ever after. And the setting, Waning Bay, sounds like it comes alive in the book, almost like another character.
It sounds like Emily Henry has found that sweet spot. She's combined all the good stuff, romance, humor, self-discovery, friendship, and wrapped it all up in a story that's both entertaining and meaningful.
Exactly. It's not just fluff. It's got substance.
And some of the quotes from the book that the reviewers pulled out are really insightful. Like this one, "You can't force a person to show up, but you can learn a lesson when they don't trust people's actions, not their words. Don't love anyone who isn't ready to love you back. Let go of people who don't hold on to you. Don't wait on anyone who is in no rush to get to you."
That's deep, but so true. It's about learning to value yourself and not settling for less than you deserve.
And it's something Daphne really needs to hear, especially after everything she's been through with Peter.
For sure. And then there's this line about the water feeling like church. Miles says it and Daphne agrees. They're both drawn to the water. It's where they feel connected but not lonely.
It's like they've found this shared sanctuary.
Yeah, and it shows that they're on the same wavelength emotionally.
Yeah.
Even though they're so different on the surface.
And Ashleigh, she has this great line about not wanting to settle, about always wanting to discover new things about yourself and your partner, which is a good lesson for anyone.
Right?
Don't get complacent in your relationship.
Absolutely. Keep things exciting.
Right.
Keep growing. And then there's Daphne's realization that trying to be unleavable didn't work. You can't control how other people feel. You can't make someone love you.
That's a hard lesson to learn, but it's an important one.
And Miles, he talks about how it's easy to be loved by people who haven't seen you at your worst, and how scary it is to let someone truly see you, which is so relatable. We all have that fear of being judged or rejected.
It's about vulnerability.
Right.
Letting someone in even though it's risky.
Exactly. And even Mrs. Vincent, one of the side characters, she has this great quote, "Honey, I'm a cynic. And a cynic is a romantic who is too scared to hope."
Oh, wow. That's so good. It's funny, but also kind of sad. Like she's been hurt so much that she's afraid to believe in love anymore.
It shows how past experiences can shape our view of relationships, and how sometimes cynicism is just a defense mechanism.
We all have our walls, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we gotta let people in.
So true. Okay. And we can't forget the hot Abraham Lincoln vibes.
Still thinking about that one. What does that even mean?
Who knows? But it's definitely memorable.
So to wrap up this deep dive funny story is more than just a rom-com. It's about unexpected connections, finding yourself after heartbreak, and the power of real relationships.
Yeah, it takes the classic fake dating trope and gives it depth. Daphne and Miles. They build a genuine friendship before anything romantic happens, which makes their connection feel so much stronger.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the best love stories come from the most unexpected places, and that it's okay to be yourself, flaws and all, because the right person will love you for exactly who you are.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So listeners, think about this. What are the seemingly random, maybe even funny events in your own life that have led to something truly meaningful? Sometimes the best stories. Stories that shape who we are. They come from the detours, the unexpected turns, the times when life throws us a curveball. And maybe, just maybe, those are the stories that make us laugh the hardest, cry the most, and ultimately help us find our own happy ending.
I love that. So go out there and embrace the detours. You never know where they might lead.
And who knows, you might even find your own funny story along the way.
And that's our deep dive for today. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.